Hi, my name is Sam. I make music under the name Checkpoint, and today I'm going to be talking about an EP I released late last year called Memories. The idea behind this EP came from a couple different sources. I wanted to try something very ambient, something I could fall asleep to, um, but I also wanted to make it something a little more. So I wanted to record some field sounds from places I used to visit as a child, or places that hold strong memories for me, to kind of cement those in my brain. And I don't know, it was a little cathartic, I suppose. So I went out and recorded these field sounds from all 6 locations, uh, and I wanted to talk about them a little bit, just for extra sort of context about the album for myself in the future, so I don't forget. I'm at my parents' house, so this is where I recorded the audio for House, the first track, and obviously this is where I pretty much grew up my whole life. There used to be a little platform in this tree, and I used to climb up this branch here and hang out up there and draw pictures and stuff. The platform's gone, but there's still some of the supports are still there. So it felt like a fitting place to record. The first track has recordings from inside our living room, where I used to sit on the couch. I cracked the window open, and I would always hear the wind come by through the windowsill, and so I recorded that and layered it with some clock ticking sounds. We have the same clock in our kitchen. I could hear it ticking all the time. And then I added some cello parts, some sort of like cello drones, and I added some effects, so it doesn't really sound like a cello. But as soon as I added that, it sounded like a lawnmower. And my dad used to mow out here, and I would hear it. My grandpa used to mow as well. So I kind of had the memory of both of them doing a lot of mowing, and it was a big riding mower, and you could hear it, and as it would get closer to that cracked open window, it would get louder and fainter. And as soon as I added that cello, it just fit so well. It took me right there, right back to it, which was so cool. Yeah, lovely, lovely place. Track 2 is called Playground. I went for a walk at this old playground. I didn't go into the playground because I'm, an adult, and it'd be kind of weird to go in with a microphone. But I walked in the field next to it. There's a little walking path, and I recorded that. And that playground I used to go, I remember when it was built, it's set up to look like a giant castle, and even to this day I think it's one of the coolest playgrounds I've ever been to. So I used to go there a bunch growing up, and that was so fun and so cool. So yeah, that's about all I have to say about that one. Good stuff. I go to that playground a lot now because, like I said, there's a walking path, and I go there and rollerblade. So I'm kind of getting my fill, but until I went and recorded those sounds, I hadn't been there in a long time. So that was really cool. The third song is called Reservoir. There's a reservoir in our town. I like going up and walking around it because it's one of the only big bodies of water near me, and that's just such a beautiful sight to me. So getting to go up there, I stood at the top and recorded the water lapping against the rocks. I wanted that one to feel very summery and hot, and dreamlike. And the melody line halfway through it inverts. So that I did that because it reminded me of the reflection on the water when things get mirrored, as you look at them. And I thought that kind of brought that point together well. I was very happy with that. I go to the reservoir a lot now for walks. These are all places that I hadn't been to for years. I've lived in this town, and I just never went to these places. And I've been making a concerted effort this summer to go to these places. And it's really nice. It's so nice. You kind of forget how nice these places are, especially if you've all lived here, forever. Yeah, kind of rediscovering them. And I think this probably was the catalyst for doing a lot of this. The fourth track, it's called Nature. There is a nature center out in the middle of nowhere, past my house, close to my house growing up. And I would bike there a lot of the times, and there was like a place to do some bird watching, and it was forested, and there was a little pond. So I'd walk back there and draw pictures, or I don't know, write things, or whatever you do as a kid. And, I went back there and walked through those paths, and it would have been July or August that I recorded these, so there were tons of bugs out, and you could just hear the bug noises were crazy. So I remember I had to EQ a lot of that so that it wasn't like overbearing bug noises, which was kind of funny. Yeah, that's another lovely place that was cool to go back to. And then the next track, Park 1, was one of 2 parks in our town that I used to go to a lot as a kid. This one in particular, my grandma used to take me to. We would go, and there was a bridge, and you could stand under the bridge and feed the ducks. We would take our Wonder Bread and feed the ducks, and I now know that that's harmful to the ducks, so sorry. We didn't know at the time. We thought we were doing something nice. But that's a very strong memory for me. And my grandma has since passed, so that's like, I'm really happy that I have that recorded. And obviously, since there's ducks, there's a little river, or I don't know, stream, whatever you'd want to call it. And so I recorded a lot of noise from those, or from that, kind of in that, I went to that area where we would feed the ducks to record that sound. And then the last track, Park 2, was the other big park in our town, I guess outside of our town. And I used to go there a lot for like events or family gatherings or parties and stuff. And there's this other big cool playground that I remember when they built it, and it was like, it wasn't as cool as the one that looked like a castle, but it was pretty big. And I remember going there with my friends, and you know, you play games where like somebody like owns the fort and the other people are trying to like capture it, and you just try to sneak up and go around the other side and whatever. And that was so cool. That park was pretty big, so I got to walk around a couple different areas and recorded a couple different places. In terms of music, that song is my favorite on the album. I really like it. It's so, I wanted it to be so ambient and dreamy and kind of repetitive. Since it's the last one, I wanted it to be, you know, if you were falling asleep, you could peacefully drift off. There were no abrupt changes. I think the piano sounded beautiful, and the bass coming in halfway through, it really hits me. It really hits me, which is good. It was very sentimental. I hadn't listened to the album pretty much since I released it, and I listened back to kind of take these notes, and yeah, it's very impactful to me, and that's exactly what I was going for. So that will be cemented in my mind forever and on my Bandcamp page forever, which is awesome. So yeah, I think listening back, I feel like there's elements that are a bit amateurish with the album. I don't know, but it's perfect. It's exactly what it needs to be, what it needed to be at the time, and I couldn't have done any better at the time. And yeah, I don't know. It's good. It's good. So, but it's specific, so it probably isn't anyone's cup of tea, or you know, maybe in specific situations, but that's okay, because I make these songs and albums for myself in the future to go back and listen to and feel those things again. And that is, it works perfectly in that context. So, yeah, that's all. I wanted to make this video. I've been wanting to for a while. It's been on my to-do list. And it was a nice day out, and I was already out at my parents', so it felt like a perfect opportunity. Yeah, I plan to make videos like this about a couple other albums, especially ones that have kind of more unique backstories like this. So if you like it, I don't know, stick around. Yeah, thanks for watching. Go make stuff. I'll see you later.